So when you choose any marble or when you pick any marble out of the bag, that should be red or green. When you have in total 52 cards, then my sample space is n is equal to 52. When you can write 3, 6, then you can write 6, 3 also, because you will get 9. So in the pack of 52 cards, we will have 13 sets of each different shape. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to one and all. This is your Shruti ma'am lecturing in Vidyashram, the Temple of Excellence, Mysore. So in my previous session, I have introduced about the concepts of probability. So let us start a few problems based on probability, which is very simple and easy to understand. So before going to the session 2 of probability, let us recall what are the things we have learnt in our previous session. So what I have did is, first is introduction to probability. What I told, introduction about probability, that is probability is nothing but a measure of uncertainty. That is the chances of happening of an event, whether the event will happen or it will not happen, or it has a chance of 50% or 25% like that. Whether the event is going to happen or not happen, we have discussed the measure of probability in such a way. So next we come across a probability scale. So what does probability scale states there? So you have a probability scale. I said the minimum value of probability is 0 and its maximum value is 1. So 0 means event has not occurred. That means it has an impossible event. That is null event. If it is 1, then it is happened. That is sure event. Therefore, the probability of sure event is 1 and null event is 0. In between, we have a chance like that, 50%. So 50% means it is equally likely, we said. So equally likely means, for example, when you toss a coin, you have a 50% of getting tail as well as 50% of getting head. So even though you have two outcomes, the chances are 50. So that is equally likely, we say. So when you go on increasing the value of probability, it states it is likely to happen. The chances of event occur is more. So we say it is likely to happen. So when you go beyond 50%, here we say it is unlikely to happen. The chances of occurring an event is less. Unlikely to happen. So this is what our probability scale indicates. So the maximum value of probability is 1 and the minimum value of probability is 0, and all other the probability values always lies between 0 to 1. That is, the value of probability belongs to the set of 0, 1. That is, the range of the probability always lies between 0 to 1. Except for null event, it is 0, and sure event, it is 1. And then we come across important terms and definitions of probability. The very first one is we have learnt about random experiment. So random experiment is nothing but any experiment which is having more than one outcome. Or that is, we have taken an example of tossing a coin, rolling a die, and also picking any card from a pack of cards. These are all examples for random experiment. Then we come across outcomes. It is very important to identify all the outcomes of a random experiment. You should know all the outcomes of a random experiment. So then writing all the random experiments outcomes in one set is nothing but sample space. Then we come across events and its type. Events. So event is always, suppose you have an event E, it always gives us favorable outcomes. So we will be having certain conditions for the experiment. Only that outcomes will be written in event, and event is always subset of S, that is sample space. Note, empty set is also subset of S. Null event is also subset. Event is nothing but subset of sample space. So we have many favorable outcomes where that is written in events. Next, we come across type of event. So we have discussed null event, then certain event, then elementary events, compound events. Elementary means having only one outcome, compound means having more than one outcome. Next, we have discussed a very important concept called mutually exclusive events, also independent events and complementary events, and union and intersection of events. As in the case of sets, union and intersection is same, but here union means occurring of event A or event B, and intersection means both A and B should occur simultaneously. So that is intersection. If A and B are two events, we write union as A union B and intersection of events as A intersection B. Then we came across one more concept, that is if A intersection B is empty, that is they are disjoint, then they are called as mutually exclusive event. So what does mutually exclusive event states? That two events cannot occur simultaneously. So that is their intersection will become 0. Intersection means both events should occur simultaneously. So the definition is vice versa of a mutually exclusive event, that they cannot occur simultaneously. Then we came across independent event. Independent events mean the occurrence of one event will not disturb or will not depend on the occurrence of another event. For example, tossing a coin. When you flip a coin, either you will get head or you will get a tail. So to get a tail, you have to redo the event again. So therefore, here they are not dependent on each other. Only one outcome is possible at particular event. Complementary event. So what does complementary event says? Suppose S is a sample space and E is one event. Then complementary event is denoted by E complement or E dash we can say, or E bar. Okay. So they are the elements which are not in E, That is, the outcomes which are not in E can be written in the E complement. So very important to note that E union E complement is always equal to the sample space. Since element of E are not in E dash, their intersection will be always empty. That is, they are disjoint. Whenever we say two sets are empty, they are nothing but disjoint sets. So therefore here they are disjoint. And one more thing is the probability of complementary event can be written as 1 minus probability of E. Why 1? Because the maximum value of the probability is always 1. So therefore, probability of E will be always less than or equal to 1. So therefore, the formula for probability to compute E complement is always 1 minus P of E. So just go through my first video, so you will get the basics and details. So let us take some simple problems for probability. So along with it, we have learnt approaches to probability, but in your syllabus, you have only the classical approach. So what does the classical approach of probability says? So classical approach of probability says what? Probability of any event is always number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. So this is favorable for an event, and this is all the outcomes which will be in the sample space. So that is why you should know what are the outcomes we have for a particular random experiment, and also we are able to find the outcomes for any event with the given condition. Okay, so let us start. So this is what I'm going to do, that is problems on probability. We'll take simple problems to understand the concept of probability. First question, find the probability of getting a head in a single throw of a coin. So what is the sample space of this experiment? Whenever you have given a question, you should know the idea of the sample space. So for this experiment, my sample space is H and T. So here is my question. getting a head in a single throw. If this is my sample space, let me take an event A where I get only head. The only possibility is here one thing, that is 1. So therefore, here my n is 2 and here my m is 1. That is, you should count the outcomes in the sample space, that is n, and count the outcomes in the event, that is your m, that is favorable outcome. What does my classical approach of probability says? That is, P of A is given by favorable outcome over total number of outcomes, that is 1 by 2 is the answer. So when you convert this in the fraction, you have a 50% of chance getting a head in a single throw of a coin. Next question. An unbiased dice is rolled. Find the probability of getting a multiple of 3. Second question, getting a prime number. So what is my sample space for dice? That is, S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So rolling a die has 6 outcomes. Therefore, my n is 6. We have 2 sub-questions. Let me take first sub-question. Getting a multiple of 3 is one event. So let me take it as event A. So what are the multiples of 3? When you roll a die, that is 3 and 6. So the only possibility that you should get a multiple of 3 when you roll a dice is 3 and 6. So for this question, my favorable outcomes is 2. So therefore, probability of A will be, that is m by n, that is 2 by 6 equal to 1 by 3. Next sub-question is given. When you throw a die, you should get a prime number. So what are the possibility of getting a prime number? I'll take an event as B. So therefore, prime number is only 2, 3 and 5. So here my m is 3. So therefore, probability of B will be m by n according to the classical approach. So my m is 3, n is 6. When you cancel, you will get 1 by 2. So you have 50% of chance of getting a prime number when you roll a dice. Next question. A card is drawn from a well-shuffled pack of 52 cards. Find the probability that. First question. Card drawn is red. Card drawn is queen. Card drawn is black and king. Card drawn is red and number card. Card drawn is either king or queen. So, when you have a set of 52 cards, you will having 13 sets of each hearts, diamond, club and spade. So, these are the symbols you will find in cards. Okay. So, you have a cards from ace to jack. So, you will be having K, Q, J and 1 to 9. Similarly, you have here also A to J. From here A to J. So, A to J. So, you will be having 13 hearts and 13 diamonds, 13 spades and 13 clubs. But one more thing is, these two will be in red color, these two will be in black color. And also you should know how many queens cards are there, how many kings, how many jacks, how many ace. So each set or each number from A to J is 4 cards. You have 4 ace, 4 jack, 4 queens, 4 k's, 4 tens, 4 nines. In total, it is 52. But when you divide them, you have 13 hearts, 13 diamonds, 13 club and 13 spade. In that, heart and diamonds are red and clubs and spades are black. So this is what I should understand the sample space. Here I have to find the probability. Let me solve them one by one. Card drawn is head. So when you have in total 52 cards, then my sample space is n is equal to 52. That is, number of outcomes in the sample space of this experiment is n is equal to 52. And here is my question, sub question. So let me take it as event A. So A is getting red card. So getting red card. So let me calculate M. How many red cards I have? So I have 13 plus 13, 26 cards. That is 13 hearts plus 13 diamonds. In total, 26. So therefore, my M will be 26. Then what is my probability of getting a red card? 26 by 52, because N is 52. So when you cancel, you have 1 by 2. So the chance of getting a red color is 1 by 2. Second question, card drawn is queen. How many queens you will have? In each set, you will have one queen. So therefore, I'll take it as B, getting queen. So I should choose only queen cards. So therefore, my M is equal to 4. I have 4 cards in each set, 1, 1, 1, 1. So therefore, probability of my second event, that is P of B, will be 4 by 52. That is 4 by 52. So when you cancel it, you will get 1 by 13. Next, card drawn is black and king. See here, how many cards I have? Black cards. I have 26 black cards. So 26 black I have. But that should be king. That should be king. So how many king? Only 2 kings I have in black card. So here I have to choose a black card which is a king. Therefore, what is my... So here I'll take a C, getting black and king and king. So I have 13 plus 13, 26 black cards, and in that black cards I have 2 kings. So each set will have 1 king. So but black sets have only 2 kings. So therefore here my M is 2. So therefore, probability of my third event, that is probability of C, is M by N again. So M by N means here 2 by 52. So that is 1 divided by 26. Next, card drawn is red and number card. So how many red cards we have? We have 26 red cards. In that, you should choose only number cards. You can see in heart and diamonds are red. In total, we are having 26 cards. Choose only the number cards from 1 to 9. So these are red cards from 1 to 9. And here also we have cards which are in red. They are diamond. So that is here 9 plus 9, 18 cards. We have 18 number cards. So therefore, what is my M here? So here, I'll take D as getting red and numbered card. So therefore, my M is here 18. So therefore, probability of fourth case, that is probability of D, is 18 divided by 52. This is equal to 9 divided by 26. Next, card drawn is either king or queen. That is, you should choose only king or you should choose queen. So what are the possibilities of king? How many kings you have? 1, 2, 3, 4. That is, in all set you have 1 king. So in total you have 4 kings and 4 queens as well. So therefore total 4 plus 4, 8 cards you have. So therefore for this question I'll take E as an event, that is getting king or queen. Remember, when you have the word or, you should add. So therefore here M is King cards I have 4, queen cards I have 4. So in total it is 8. So therefore probability of E is 8 by 52. 8 by 52. That is equal to 2 divided by 13. Okay, so this is how we will calculate the probability for a simple event. Next question. A bag contains 6 white beads, 4 red beads. A bead is drawn at a random. What is the probability that the bead drawn is white? So we have a bag here. So let me take, I have a bag. So I have 6 white beads and 4 red beads. I have to choose a single bead. So if I take a bead from the bag, I don't know whether I have taken white bead or red bead. But I have to calculate for the probability of getting white only. So what is n here? N is equal to 10. You should not take n is equal to 6 or n is equal to 4. So you have to take the count of all beads inside the bag. So therefore, n is equal to 10. So next, probability that the bead is white. So what is my m? According to the question, we have 6 white beads. So therefore, m is equal to 6. I am finding the probability of white beads only. So my favorable outcome will become 6 and my total outcome will become n. So if I take A as an event for this experiment, then probability of A is given by m by n, which is 6 by 10, which is 3 by 5. 3 by 5. Next question. The same question here also we have, but we have in terms of marbles. So a bag contains 8 red marbles, 6 green marbles and 10 pink marbles. What is the probability that marble drawn is either red or green? So remember the word either red or green. So when you choose any marble or when you pick any marble out of the bag, that should be red or green. So what are the possibilities of red? That is, I have 8 red. What are the possibilities of green? That is 6. Since we have OR here, let me sum this up. So therefore my M, my favorable outcome here, that is equal to 14. What about N? N is total number of marbles inside the bag. That is 24. So therefore, if I write A as an event, then probability of A is given by 14 divided by 24. So that is 7 divided by 12. We'll move on to the next question. 2 fair coins are tossed simultaneously. Find the probability of getting 2 heads, at least 1 head, exactly 1 head. So let us write the sample space of 2 coins tossed simultaneously. When you toss 2 coins, both can get head, or you may get 1 head and the other tail, or the first one get tail and the second one may get head, or both can get tails. So let me write the sample space of 3 events accordingly. So let me take this as A, getting 2 heads. Let this be event A. So getting 2 heads, I have only one possibility, that is H and H. Next, at least 1 head means minimum 1 head, maximum 2 heads. Okay, so therefore, this may be H, 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 T, T, H. So these are the 3 possibilities for the question. Exactly 1 head. So the only possibility, let me take an event C. So exactly 1 head, I have only 2 outcomes, that is HT and TH. Okay, so here my total outcomes is 4. So when I comes for the favorable outcome, that is we have M is equal to 1 here, M is equal to 3 here and M is equal to 2 here. So therefore, my probability varies for each cases. Let us calculate it one by one. So probability of an event A is again we know M by N. So what is M? M is 1, N is 4. Next, probability of B. is what? That is 3 by 4. And probability of an event C is 2 by 4, which is equal to half. Next, we'll move on to the next question. 2 dice are rolled simultaneously. Find the probability of getting a total of 9, getting a doublet, getting a total of 9 or 11, and getting at least 1 5. So, in my previous session, I told you to remember the sample space of 2 dice when they are rolled. That is, when you roll a die, each may get 1, 1. You should write it in ordered pairs like 1, 2 to 1, 6. So, similarly, you have 2, 1, 2, 2, 6. Again, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6. 4, 1, 2, 4, 6. 5, 1, 2, 5, 6. 6, 1, 2, 6, 6. So, in total, you will be having 36 outcomes for this experiment. Remember, n is always 36 for this experiment. So, let me solve it by one. So, let us take the first event of getting a total of 9. So, when you roll 2 dice simultaneously, like one outcome may be 1, one outcome may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Any number from 1 to 6 in the first die. Same any number from 1 to 6 in the second die. So, when you pair it, this is all the outcome you will get. So, here is my question. The pair should sum up to 9. So, what are the possibilities of getting those number so that when you add, you will get 9. So, let me write it as event A. So, here from 1, 2 to 1, 6, when you add the pairs, you will not get 9. You can see 1 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 2, 3, 1 plus 6 is 7. So, my question is, when you add them, you should get 9. So, let me write the only outcomes. When I add it, I will get 9. So, what are the possibilities? 2, 6, I cannot get 9. 3, 6 is, it starts from 3, 6. I can write 3, 6. When you can write 3, 6, then you can write 6, 3 also, because you will get 9. So, similarly, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4 is not possible, but 4, 5 is possible. So, when you can write 4, 5, then you can also write 5, 4. Next, 4, 6 is 10, so I cannot take it. Again, 5, 4 I can write, I have written. 5, 5, 5, 6 cannot be written. 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3 can be written, I have written already. 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6 is not possible. So, the only possibilities is these 4. So, here therefore, m is equal to 4. So, what is my probability of A? 4 divided by 36. That is 1 by 9. Getting a doublet. Doublet means same. Both die should have the same outcome. So, what are the possibilities? I'll take it as B. So, that is 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. So, how many outcomes you have? You have 6 outcomes. So, therefore, my probability of B will be 6 by 36. That is 1 by 6. Next, getting a total of 9 or 11. So, when you add the pairs, you should get 9. Already we know the outcomes of 9. So, just let me find out it for 11. Okay. So, I'll take it as event C. I know the outcomes for 9. I'll just write it. So, 3, 6, 6, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4. So, now I should get 11. So, you can see here 5, 6 leads to 11. So, therefore, I can write 5, 6. Similarly, 6, 5. 6, 6 is not possible because this gives rise to 12. So, here my M is 6 again. So, therefore, probability of C will be 6 by 36. That is 1 by 6. So, getting at least 1 5. That means you can select this 5, 1, 2, 5, 6. In one of the pairs, you should have 5. Also, you can choose 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 5, 5 and 6, 5. So these numbers you can choose. Okay, so you can see clearly 5, 1 to 5, 6, you have 6 outcomes. And this is already taken. The remaining 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 outcomes for this question. Getting at least 1 5 means in any one of the outcome you should find 5. So therefore, let me take it as event D. So we can write the numbers from 5, 1 to 5, 6. Along with this, I can write 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5. 5, 5 is already written. So left with 6, 5. So therefore, M is equal to 11. Probability of D will be 11 by 36. We'll take the next question. 3 fair coins are tossed simultaneously. Find the probability of getting one head. So let me write the sample space when 3 coins are tossed. We have written the sample space for 2 coins. Now I am writing for the 3 coins. So what are the possibilities? All the 3 may get head. 2 heads, 1 tail in this form. H, T, H or T, H, H. Then 2 tails can be possible. That is T, T, H, T, H, T, H, T, T. And all may get tails. So this is the sample space for 3 fair coins tossed simultaneously. What is my N here? It is 8. So getting one head, exactly one head. So one head, I can find it here, here and here. So therefore, what is my M here? It is 3. So therefore, if I take event A as getting one head, then probability of A will be 3 by 8. Next, getting at least 2 heads means minimum you should have 2 heads. Maximum you can have any number of heads, but here maximum I can get 3 heads. So at least 2 head means this is 1, 2, 3. Along with this I have this. We have at least 2 heads here also. So therefore here my favorable outcome is 4. So my probability will be 4 by 8, that is 1 by 2 when you cancel it. Next, getting at most 1 head. So at most 1 head means maximum you can have 1 head. Less than that also is possible. So maximum 1 head. Where you find maximum 1 head? Here. 1, 2, 3. You have maximum 1 head. And less than that is also possible. Here we can find there are no heads. So therefore, here my M is again 4. So therefore, probability of C is 4 by 8, which is equal to 1 by 2 again. Next, at least 1 head and at least 1 tail. At least 1 head you have the possibility, that is 1 by 2. At least 1 tail is also 1 by 2. So but here I have to find at least 1 head and at least 1 tail. Next option is getting at least 1 head or 1 tail. So now at least 1 head means minimum 1 head. Similarly, at least 1 tail means minimum 1 tail. So less than that is not possible. So here we have at least 1 head, but there is no at least 1 tail. So we cannot take this. And similarly, the last one, we have at least 1 tail, but we are not having at least 1 head also. So I cannot count this. And except those two, I can take all those outcomes because I have 1 head, 1 tail, 1 head, 1 tail in each outcome. So I can take in count all the 6 outcomes. So for this question, my M will be equal to 6. So therefore, probability of an event D can be taken as 6 by 8, that is 3 by 4. My last question is getting heads more than tails. So you should find the heads where they are more than the tails. So what are the possibilities? You have here heads more than tails. Here also heads more than tails. Heads more than tails. So one more. Here I can choose heads. There is no tail, but we have heads more than tails. So here my M will be 4. So therefore, my probability of that event will be 4 divided by 8, that is equal to 1 by 2. So based on the conditions you should choose. See, getting one head means exactly one head. The possibilities is 3. So probability is 3 by 8. At least 2 heads mean you can choose either 2 or 3. In this case, the maximum heads you can get is 3 head. So either you can choose 2 heads. 2 heads you have 3 outcomes. Along with that 1, 4. At most 1 head means, remember at most means maximum you can reach is 1. Minimum is 0. Getting at least 1 head, you should find the outcome where you have 1 head and 1 tail in each case. Getting heads more than tails is very simple. You should find those heads where number of tails is less compared to heads. Next question. A number is chosen from 1 to 50. What is the probability that the number is a multiple of 8? Let me take an event A. So getting multiple of 8. Getting multiple of 8 is my event from the numbers 1 to 50. What are the possibilities? You can tell the multiples. 8 ones are, 8 twos are, like that. 24. Next, 32, 40, 48. So they are in between 1 to 50. So therefore here my M is 6. So therefore probability of A. So we have a numbers from 1 to 50. Therefore N is equal to 50. We have all the numbers from 1 to 50. So therefore it is 6 divided by 50. That is 3 divided by 25. We'll move on to the next question. From a well-shuffled pack of cards, a card is drawn at random. Find the probability that the drawn card is king or queen. We have already seen this question. So in the pack of 52 cards, we will have 13 sets of each different shape. That is heart, diamond, spade and club. In all the set, you will be having one king. So for 4 sets, you will be having 4 kings and 4 queens. So therefore, M is here 4 plus 4, that is equal to 8, and N is always equal to 52 in case of cards. So therefore, my probability of A, if I take A as an event, probability of A will be 8 by 52. 8 by 52. So that is equal to 2 by 13. Next question. 2 coins are tossed simultaneously. What is the probability of getting at most one tail, at least one tail? So why I have chosen this question? Again, you should not make confusion with at most and at least. So at most means you can choose the outcome less than or equal to some x. Okay. So at least means you should take the outcomes greater than or equal to x. So x may be 1, 2, 3 like that. So here is my sample space for this. So 2 coins sample space is HH, HT, TH, TT. So what is my question? At most one tail. That means maximum I can choose 1, minimum is 0. So 1 is this and minimum is this. We don't have tail here. So therefore, here I can choose HH, HT and TH. So here my M is 3. So therefore probability of A is 3 by 4. Next I have at least. At least means, so minimum you can choose 1 tail. Maximum you can choose 2 tails. So therefore the possibility here, minimum is possible in HT, TH. You can find 1 tail. And here at least 1 tail, that is you can find 2 tails here also. So here also my M is 3. So therefore my probability of B is 3 by 4 here. So this is how we will calculate the probability in all those cases in terms of cards or in coins. whether it may be 2 coins or 3 coins. That is the main thing. You should know the sample space of all the experiments clearly. Then only you can find the probability very easily. So in the next class, I'll show you how we can choose 2 outcomes simultaneously. So these are the simple probabilities we have done today, but in each and every cases, we have taken only one outcome. We have learned the problems based on one single outcome, that is choosing 2 heads, choosing 2 tails, choosing 1 head, or when it comes for the dice, taking prime number or even number, like that. So in the next class, we will be dealing about higher problems on probability, that when you choose 2 or more outcomes, how we will calculate the probability. So I hope you enjoyed this session today. We'll meet in the next class. Until then, take care, keep watching, keep learning and keep exploring. Thank you.